This business means everything to me for a couple of reasons. One, when I left my abusive husband, I had a 2-year-old baby on my hip, which is my son, Caden. I only had $32 in the bank, as I mentioned, and I had no family around to assist. No second income in the house, all the same bills, same mortgage, everything, but I didn't have a way to feed my son. And I wanted to make sure that the story that he was eventually going to be able to tell was one of triumph, was one that he would be proud to tell his friends or to tell the world should he choose. And I wanted him to see that when people fall down, they don't stay down. We get back up and we work and we grind and we hustle to make a better life in a better way. And I wanted to make him proud. My sole purpose at that time was just to make my son proud. And I'm super excited to say that I know that I've accomplished that, because anytime he has a school project where he has to profile someone, usually a historical figure, he always chooses to profile me, which on one hand could mean that he just thinks that I'm really old, or it could be that he's very proud, or both. And I actually think that it might be both. So much so that actually last year when he was in 3rd grade, he had to do a project and he had to come up with a unique project to profile the person of his choosing. And so he asked the teacher if he could profile me, and he actually created a game. And I don't know if you can see it, but it's called The Money Collector. And this is the game that he created. And it takes you all around the board. And he has money that he created. And you get money based upon different things that happen. So like there's an award that I won called the Root 100, which is for the 100 most influential people in America. And so you get $50 if you land on that. There's a magazine, you get $30 if you land on Crane's Detroit Business. However, if you land on a challenge, for example, like here, which is hiring an employee or having to buy new labels for products or training employees, or a business conference, you actually lose money because those are expenses. So, it's pretty cool, this that he created. And so I can tell that he's very, very proud of me. So that makes me really happy. The second reason that this business means so much to me is because a lot of times when people are in domestically abusive relationships, other people think, why is he or she staying in that relationship? Are they a glutton for punishment? Are they just stupid? Are they dumb? Are they idiots? Why would you stay with someone who continues to hurt you, who continues to beat you? And the thing is that people don't seem to know that the vast majority of people who stay in abusive relationships do not stay because they're dumb or stupid or gluttons for punishment. They stay because they don't have the financial resources to be able to leave those abusive marriages or those abusive relationships. It costs money to survive. It costs money to leave someone and start a whole new life. And quite frankly, most people who are abusers tend to also sometimes be narcissists, and they are also controlling. And so they tend to control the finances of the household. So if you're the abusee, or the victim, should I say, if you're the victim in this case, dealing with an abuser, very likely that abuser is going to be someone who controls the money, who controls the finances, who controls the even in the vehicles and everything that has to do with your livelihood. You are controlled by that person more than likely. And so it's extremely hard to leave that relationship if you don't have financial resources to do it. It's even harder when you have children. How are you supposed to leave a relationship with children in tow and start a new life if you have no money? And so when people say, well, they're stupid, or they're a glutton for punishment, or they're dumb, or, they're allowing love to be blind, that's not necessarily the case. The case is generally that they can't leave. And so me being someone who was a victim, but a survivor, should I say, at this point, but at one time a victim, looking to leave that relationship, and I was able to do so and build a business and become better than I was prior to even being in that marriage, speaks volumes. And it is so gratifying to me that I can be the role model for that, to say, like, listen, you can pull yourself up by your bootstraps. You can have $32 in the bank. You can have a 2-year-old on your hip, and you can start something, and it can make it great. You can go from $32 to $1.2 million in 2021, or $32 to $4.3 million in lifetime sales with no money. So when people say they can't do it or they don't have, capital to start and that sort of thing, I am the proof that it can be done. And so this business means that it is possible for other people, so they can look to me and see that if you're in a situation like this, you can get out of it and you can make your own way. And that's why it means so much to me. Literally, my biggest challenge was starting with $32. I mean, it's so hard to start a business with only $32. But what I would do is there's this little, it was rather big actually. There's this big open air market here in Detroit. It's called Eastern Market. And I didn't have any money to be able to afford to vend my products at Eastern Market. Prior to getting to Whole Foods, I had to figure out how to make money. Remember, I had lost my job. I didn't have any second income. I didn't have any family to help. I was all on my own. And I would take my son, who was then 2 years old, he was still in his carrier, and I would take him down to Eastern Market. Now, I didn't have the money to rent a table space, but I did have a table in my garage. So I would take that table and I would go down to Eastern Market and I would just set up shop and pretend like I was supposed to be there and pray to God that no one who was an organizer saw me and thought, who is she and why is she here? Because I wasn't supposed to be there, but I didn't have the money to pay for it. So I just showed up. And I would start out, and my son was 2 years old, so he was in his carrier. And of course, people like babies, and they really like cute babies. And my son was really cute. And so they would come over to the table and they would say, oh my goodness, he's so cute. How old is he? And I would talk to them about my son. And then I would use that in order to start talking to people about my business. So I would use my son to drive the traffic to the table. And then I would start to talk to them about my products. And I would sell out every single weekend. And so what I would do is I would take the money from the money I had made at Eastern Market, and I would then pay my bills, and I would use the rest in order to buy raw materials and packaging for the business so I could go back next weekend. And that's how I sustained myself up until we got into Whole Foods. And even after we were in Whole Foods, I still went to Eastern Market and did that for a while. And so that was a huge challenge. Like, one, not having any money. Two, basically like showing up and I'm not supposed to be at this place, hoping and praying no one embarrasses me and kicks me out. Just trying to make a way out of no way at that time. So that was probably the biggest challenge that I've dealt with as a business owner. And luckily for me, that was at the beginning of the business. So I just feel like anything that has come after that is nothing compared to trying to survive with just $32 and starting a business. So I hope that you've loved my video. I cannot wait to meet the sharks. Thank you so much for watching my video, and I look forward to hearing back from you soon. See ya.